Well, I was reading this book last week, so it may not surprise you to hear that I finished reading The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. Liz Moore is an American author born in 1983. After a brief time as a musician in New York City, which inspired her first novel, The Words of Every Song, Moore shifted her focus to writing. Her fourth novel, Long Bright River, was a Good Morning America book club selection in 2020 and was one of Barack Obama's favorite books of the year. The God of the Woods is her fifth novel. I kind of blasted through this book.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest, I loved the heck out of this. So it just feels like such a victory because this book wasn't even really on my radar like a month ago. I never planned to buy it because, like I think I mentioned previously, I DNF'd. The only other book of hers I've attempted to read, The Unseen World, I was like, nah, I don't like this at all. It was not for me. And so I kind of was like, I'm never going to read one of her books again. It was kind of where I was at. But I'm so glad that I took a chance on this because it was awesome. So let me tell you what it's about a little bit from the top here.
Yeah.
So basically, this follows a very rich family who has, basically you've got like a, the mom and dad or whatever. They, in the 1960s, they had, or I guess it wouldn't have been in the 60s. In the 50s, they had a son, and they kind of were like, all right, we're happy with this. We just want this one son, because the father is kind of like, oh, I just need a son to carry on the family legacy, blah, blah, blah. And so this kid is like their pride and joy, and he goes missing when he's 8.
Okay.
And so that kind of happens. That's one timeline of the book. But then the book takes place like 13 years later when they've had a daughter who is essentially the replacement for this son who's gone missing. They never found him. They never found out what happened to him. So it's kind of just this sad thing that just like has lingered in their family. And so in 1975, which is when the main storyline is, Barbara, the daughter, goes to camp and then also goes missing. And so it's just scary. This like, oh my God, not this again. Like, what is going on? And so like, obviously the police get involved. And so the whole book is kind of like bouncing around between like 5 or 6 different timelines, which sounds really confusing and scary, but I promise it's not. It's really, really easy to follow. And there's also like maybe 5 or 6 characters. So you've got a bunch of different characters, a bunch of different timelines, and they're just woven together in such a perfect way that makes for such an engaging read. And it makes you question things at like every turn because like you think you know what's going on, but then you don't. And every now and then there'll be like, there's this one character who's kind of like an escaped convict from prison, like scary person. And you don't really see much of him though. Like you only get like 3 chapters from him. So you don't really know what's going on or if he's involved. And like, it's all very, very interesting. And one of the characters is an investigator, like a young woman who's just gotten started, like on the force kind of thing. And so she's really fun to follow. I really liked her perspective. But then you've also got a girl who is a camper who was best friends with this girl who went missing. Right. And then you've got like the mom character from, in the past that kind of shows you like where she got started, but then also the timeline where the son goes missing. So like there's just a lot of different really interesting perspectives, and I had such a good time reading it. And I actually...
That's so epic.
Yeah, like in order to like really immerse myself in it, because I really wanted to just like focus on this book and like not get distracted, I was like, okay, I'm going to like listen to music. So I was like listening to 70s music while I was reading, and I like lit incense that smelled like the forest and stuff like that. Like it was just like a really fun way to read this book. So I do highly recommend that. But yeah, the other thing to mention is it is quite long. Like it's almost 500 pages, but I blew through it. Like
You really did.
I did not find it to be slow in any way. Like it is literary, like a literary mystery thriller, so it's not like as maybe like easy to fly through as some other thrillers might be, but I still found it to be really, really engaging. Like I have no complaints about the pacing at all. I thought it was perfect. The characters were really interesting, and yeah, overall just a really, really fun time. So if it sounds appealing to anyone, like I highly, highly recommend it.
That's so
definitely
awesome.
going to be up there as one of my favorites of the year. Oh, and I should also mention the ugly pink paint on the cover is of course significant, as I knew it probably would be. Okay. But I still don't like the cover.
I was about to say I have 3 questions, and that was the first one. Okay, so the pink paint drop is significant.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so do you now like the cover a bit more?
No, I still think that it could have been done in a different way. Because it also like the context in which the pink paint is significant doesn't make sense with the way the cover is designed.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's kind of weird, yeah.
My second question is, do your nails match the cover perfectly?
Oh, my nails are gold. So that, it does kind of vibe with the cover though.
From the Google Meet camera, it looks like they were green.
Oh,
so I got
damn.
confused.
I do have a nail color that's similar to that cover, so you're not completely wrong.
My third question is, do you agree with Max of Well Done Books that this is the book of the summer?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I wish that like I had known about it earlier, and I do think it only came out like a month ago. So if it had come out at the beginning of June, that might have been better for it to be like the book of the summer. I feel like it kind of came at a weird time, but I mean, I think it works as like an end of summer, beginning of fall book too, though, because it is kind of spooky, and like the main storyline does take place at the end of August.
Right.
So now is the perfect time to read it, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
That's cool.
Go out and get it and read it right now.